Before you said it, I said, don't underestimate Bernie Sanders.
Hi.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much. How you doing?
Pretty good, sir. Thank you for running.
Thank you.
Can I just ask you, does this feel good?
Of course it feels good. It feels great.
And Bernie Sanders said to me, you shouldn't vote for Hillary.
The striking thing about Bernie Sanders is not that he's a man whose time has come.
Bernie, thank you so much.
I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm running for Congress.
I know.
It's that he's been waiting so long
Love to hear you talk on TV.
Thank you. 6.
for his time to get here.
We do 2 a minute. We're doing well.
We have the wealth in this nation to provide a decent standard of living for all of our people.
Demand pay equity for women workers.
What you were talking about in 1988 and what you're talking about in 2015, it's the same thing.
More and more Americans are catching on to what I have been talking about for decades.
What we need to do is radically change the priorities of this nation.
Do you feel a little bit of satisfaction, like suddenly you people are listening?
Yeah.
Were you waiting for America to catch up with you?
Well, I'm glad that it's happening.
Please welcome Senator Bernie Sanders.
After 40 years of trying to gain traction with his message, Sanders, the 74-year-old Democratic Socialist senator and former mayor of Burlington, Vermont, is suddenly dancing with Ellen.
I don't have a super PAC. I don't even have a backpack. I carry my stuff around loose in my arms like a professor.
He's being parodied by dead ringer Larry David.
I own 1 pair of underwear. That's it. Some of these billionaires, they got 3, 4 pairs.
Were you watching Saturday Night Live?
Well, I've seen it.
Who told you this is...
Who didn't tell me? I heard it from 20 different people.
Did you laugh?
Yeah, it was very funny.
BernieSanders.com. Check it out. It's a mess.
And he's running neck and neck with Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire by calling for a revolution.
The only way we really transform America and do the things that the middle class and working class desperately need is through a political revolution.
Political revolution, that's a big term.
Look, in the last election, Jim, 63% of the American people didn't vote. 80% of young people didn't vote. Big money is increasingly buying political elections. A political revolution means that we involve tens of millions of people in the political process today to stand up and fight for their rights, to stop the disappearance of the American middle class, and say that our government belongs to all of us and not just a handful of wealthy campaign contributors.
I'm just wondering if you're misreading what it is American people want.
No, I'm not. You check out the polls.
I know how much you love conventional wisdom. In May, when you say, hey, I'm going to do this, conventional wisdom holds Senator Sanders is a fringe candidate, he's a socialist, he's not going to get any traction.
Yes.
Now here we are, and it looks like you got a little more traction than the experts thought you would.
Yes.
Why?
Because you and the punditry and the corporate media, have a view of the world which I think is very out of touch with what the American people are feeling.
You really don't like us?
No, it's not a question of not liking you. I like you. You're a very nice guy. What corporate media is about is very often deflecting attention away from the most significant issues facing our country and giving us entertainment all the time. And I get upset that media, by and large, is more interested in dumb things that somebody says or how much money I'm raising. No one cares about that. We got to focus on the real issues facing America.
Hey, how you doing?
If Sanders is the junior senator from Vermont, his matter-of-fact style is all Brooklyn, where he was born and raised among working-class immigrants, many of them Jews like himself, whose families had fled discrimination in Europe.
Economic inequality, it's your reason for being. And I'm wondering where that came from.
I will tell you where that came from. When you're 5 or 6 years old and you hear your parents arguing, and sometimes pretty fiercely, it's very disturbing to a child. And my parents did.
Over money.
Over money, almost always. My father came to this country from Poland at the age of 17 without a nickel in his pocket. He always had a job, but he never made a lot of money. So we were never poor, but we just never had a whole lot of money. I think we were solidly lower middle class.
But you could have then said, you know what? I'm going to go to medical school and make money.
Yeah, I guess.
But you didn't.
No, I didn't. I mean, I think from an early age, and again, what I cannot tell you, you asked the fair question, I just don't know the answer, why we turn out the way we do.
It is the rare politician who will admit he doesn't have all the answers. But uncommon has long been one of the more polite descriptions of Sanders. After all, how many candidates have disclosed they have five-figure credit card debt?
You have to become an open book in a way you've never been before. For instance, between $25,000 and $65,000 in credit card debt.
My wife handles that. I think actually that's been paid. Look, we do fine financially. A United States Senator makes a good living.
But how do you get that much credit card debt?
I actually don't know. You have to ask my wife that. But I think we have paid it all off.
Do you think in some way that makes you more relatable to the average American?
Maybe, but that wasn't the intention, I'm sure.
Okay.
He's been with his second wife, Jane,
The pitch was a little on the inside.
for 34 years.
Thank you, Grandma.
They have 7 grandchildren between the two of them.
Whoa!
You knew going into this that would be the deal.
Expect it to take off so quickly.
Whoa! Unbelievable.
I said to him when we were talking about whether he should run, "Well, isn't there another way you can get the issues out?"
This is the ultimate I told you so moment in a marriage.
It is.
As Jane Sanders knows better than anyone, her husband is always going to do it his way.
He's not really into the stagecraft. We do try to point it out every now and then that he needs to pay attention.
But he fights you every step
Oh,
of the
yeah,
way.
yeah. Oh, yeah. He is all policy still.
How many of you guys are looking forward to going to college? Raise your hand. How many of you are worried about the cost of college?
As this campaign evolves, the extent to
One of the
which
things that
you
we're
need
trying to do-
not to change your message, but to change the delivery mechanism so that it's not eat your peas.
I understand.
Do you run the risk of being too serious?
I plead guilty.
You hate the question.
No, it's a fair question. I know how to do this stuff. Hey, how you doing? Let me tell you a few jokes, and I know you're too dumb to want to listen to a speech beyond 3 minutes, so I'm going to be brief. Vote for me. I'm great. Everybody else is terrible. Have a nice day. I don't do that.
If we stand together, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish, and that is exactly what this campaign is about.
Can't be politics as usual. I ain't a candidate of the politics as usual.
With Hillary Clinton starting to expand her lead in polls nationwide, the stakes are growing ever higher as Bernie Sanders prepares for the Democratic debate CBS News will host this Saturday.
You are not running just to get a good speaking slot at the Democratic National Convention.
No, we are running to win. I fully admit we are the underdogs. We started this campaign at 3%, 5% in the polls. Nobody thought that we could win in New Hampshire, win in Iowa, and yet we're doing well in both of those states, and we're doing well around the country. So we are in this race to win it.